a blockchain provides a very nice way to prove the ownership of whatever that data may be, and then reward people in the right way.
Transparency is similar to how you're using the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like an immutable record is really useful for stuff like this.
One of the kind of subsectors of, I'm really, really bullish on the convergence of Web3 and AI, how the two technologies kind of almost marry each other and need each other. And I know a lot of AI companies aren't talking about Web3, which is a problem, but like, I generally think there's some really interesting, we've done a lot of research around this at Fabric. We wrote it was meant to be a blog post, and now we've written a 42-page thesis around this. So,
nice. So
you know, like it was
long on
deep,
Web3 and
right?
AI, yeah.
And so realistically, we cannot argue that like AI is fundamentally going to change the way that we all live. And it already has. You know, ChatGPT was kind of the first kind of mainstream consumer product that now everyone knows about, and I use more than Google. And now the way we sort of digest information, use information, even from a content creation perspective, is already changing. But I think AI creates a lot of problems. So for instance, verification, who owns what, where does it come from? Governance, do we want just big tech titans like Facebook, Meta, to your point, to just dictate how we all use AI and what's shared and what isn't from a data perspective? Actually, if you think about ChatGPT today, it was only able to get that great or based on like 21 years of data that we've given and shared. And actually, if we're just using ChatGPT and AI generated content, and like we're not actually inputting more data. So how do you incentivize people to share their data? And tokenomics is quite interesting. So blockchain technology is one of like everything is encrypted on blockchain. From a data perspective, how do you get that walled garden data? How do you think about governance? Well, Web3 has given governance a lot more thought than Web2. And from an infrastructure perspective and a payment rail. So I do think that convergence piece, there's a lot of like untrodden territory there that I think we need a few interesting use cases and companies to start for AI to talk about us. To your point around show don't tell and create value, and so I think that's really, really interesting. I think let's see what happens with like the price of crypto, because I do think that brings more people into the space, and that's not a bad thing. Like meme coins, like it or hate it, like even from a trading retail perspective, I'm like, I need to like find some altcoins and meme coins. It's part of it. Part of the learning experience. It's part of understanding how it all works.
It's I think if you viewed NFTs as like crypto 101, I think like meme coins are really like crypto 201, because I think the challenge you had with NFTs where they were just like illiquid, you know, like you had to find someone that liked your particular one. You had to sell the entire thing, whereas with meme coins it's like you can sell 1 Pepe or 2 Pepe or a million Pepe, you know, and they don't need to like it. It's more commoditized in that sense. And I think that people that perhaps were entered into crypto and NFTs have been like, okay, I can see how this is a better user experience when it comes to me trading it than NFTs were. But like fundamentally, it's just like, do you think it's funny? Do you like the art? Do you know, that is what it's shared. It's like, there's no, like Bored Apes became a bit of a thing because as a bit of a status symbol, you know, and it's like, okay, well then that like meme coins, it's like some of them are funny and some of them aren't. Do you know what I mean? It's there's a lot more to it than that, but like, I think that fundamentally that is the hook for most people to get into it. Is that like, oh, I think I get that, it's kind of funny, it might go up in value. Like this, the speculative nature of it is quite interesting. I had a really interesting conversation with a chap on Wednesday last week, and he had the company he worked at had done some research on like when acquiring new customers, if you say you were guaranteed to get $5 of free credit if you interacted with this thing, versus you might have the chance to win $1,000 of free credit, that you might have a chance to win $1,000 outperformed the $5 guaranteed every single time, because there's that like the speculation around what you have and the value is going to increase is like just the way our brains are wired is more attractive. So I think that it's quite cool. And then to go back to your point on OpenAI, well, AI platforms using loads of data that we've given them, it has similarities with what made like Facebook so big in the beginning. It's like it didn't create or own any content. It took content from other platforms. So like well-established like publishing platforms, something like newspapers, magazines that created a presence on the internet when it was invented, like lost a lot of content that was then monetized by Facebook then, Meta now.
Yeah.
And that just seems strikingly similar to what is happening with AI platforms, you know, because, and then you look now and Google are in court at the moment for running a monopoly. Like Meta have been in trouble in the past, you know, just from like monetizing stuff that isn't necessarily theirs. And I think that's, there is the danger of that with AI.
Yeah.
And I think that, as you rightly say, a blockchain provides a very nice way to prove the ownership of whatever that data may be and then reward people in the right way.
Transparency is similar to how you're using the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like an immutable record is really useful for stuff like this. You know? So I think that will be interesting to see that play out for sure.